Hi, guys. Welcome back to It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect. And oh my goodness, the morning I've had today, and this is the perfect time to film this right now because I am such. I want to talk about dealing with difficult people. And, you know, at one point in our adult lives, we have to encounter situations alone without our mommy holding our hand, and it sucks, though. I wish my mommy could fight all my battles, to be so frank with you, but that's not going to happen. And see, I'm like a person that if anything gets too serious, I kind of go into this coping mechanism where I find everything amusing. It's kind of like that scene from Gilmore Girls when she's explaining to her mom, like, after a while, your jabs, I just find them amusing. And that's literally me. And I don't know, I think it like originally when like I was in high school, because I remember that was the first time that I recognized that after going through something traumatic and so serious that I was just kind of like dealing with it in my own way, and people around me were very very confused, like, why is she okay? Like, she just went through this trauma inducing event, but I was fine. And I don't feel like that invalidates my trauma, not at all. But a lot of people thought that maybe because I was so fine that I wasn't going actually through that and that I lied or something. It completely horrifying and invalidating. But that was just like the coping mechanism that I developed, and I'm glad that I have that. I don't know where it came from, but that's definitely the first time I remember it really being clear to me that I'm able to just kind of ha ha hee hee through it. And yeah, so I feel like I need to remind myself that I have the ability to walk through those things again and not take it so seriously, because if you take it so seriously, I feel like it's just gonna tear you down, and that's not. No, like I can't be torn down. Like, I have so much to do. Like, I have no time for a breakdown, okay? But yeah, let's talk about dealing with difficult people. I, especially this morning, I have dealt with two different instances, and bro, it's like uh, 9 a.m. right now. Like, what's going on? And the first instance is just with some coworkers and people that just take their job way too seriously for being something that is not so serious. Like, if we're in a hospital, like, yeah, like, there is a body on the table, like, you better get serious and like lock in. But if it's a coffee shop, if it's a movie theater that you're working at, if it's literally, I don't know, like mowing the lawn, those are important jobs because, everyday people will go get food and go get their services done by someone. But like, for it to be like we're at a hospital level Grey's Anatomy up in this shit, like, no, like, it's not that serious. And it's so exhausting when you work with people that think that it's so serious and we need to do everything in a certain way, and there's always just pointing out the negativity, never praising, never actually being a good leader. I feel like we all have encountered people like this, right? People that just take their job way too fucking seriously, bro. Like, it's not that serious. And maybe, maybe if I took myself more seriously, maybe I'd get more done. But like, to be honest, I rather laugh at things, like laugh it out, than be so like stuck and like stiff in my ways. I've said this again and again. I rather be malleable and moldable and, change as I grow than be so stuck in one way, especially when that way involves being so negative to people that are just here to make a living, people that are just here to get by, maybe pay off student loans. Like, you don't know, like, why people are working. Like, yeah, like basic survival needs, but like, it maybe like this is like their third job. And like, that's kind of the case in my situation, where I have this coworker who is always pointing out the negative, always. Like, if there's a group chat message, it's always pointing out the negative. And, I don't really let it get to me. Like all these months that I've worked there, I'm like, oh, well, 2-3 months. But all this time I've kind of been like, oh, whatever, like whatever, it doesn't really affect me. But I don't know, today I just felt like giving some constructive feedback on their way of communicating to the collective. And I sent it in the group chat because that's where they sent the message. And I rewrote their message, but in a way that was more applauding, like, hey, good job on the close last night. Although we do have to look out for these things, blah, 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 blah. And then a thank you so much at the end, And I don't know. Again, I don't really do that kind of thing. Like, I feel like when it comes to me individually, I will stand up for myself. But this was like talking to the group, even though the closer last night was me. It's stupid. I know it's like stupid little petty stuff. And why are we talking about it? Well, because life is filled with these stupid petty little things that happen all the time with new people that you encounter, or even like friends, family. You have to learn how to navigate those sticky situations. And I'm just going to give you the advice that I've kind of needed and what it is that I kind of follow when one thing doesn't pan out and the other thing doesn't pan out. So number 1 on my list is communicate to them. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I communicated what I feel like as a leader you should effectively communicate with your group, with the people below you. And let's see how that goes. I don't know the outcome yet, but yeah, I think it'll be okay. I mean, I feel like they probably didn't like that I kind of corrected their way of pointing out stuff, but at the end of the day, I feel like, especially because they're so young, like, oh my god, I think that being called out on your shit, like, you should. I want to be called out on my shit. If I'm doing something wrong, if I'm disrespecting someone, if I'm anything, I'm not gonna like it. Like, obviously I'm not gonna like it, but if someone communicated my errors to me, I would know how to like correct them and redefine them, because in that case, again, I'm just gonna stay stagnant. If no one's calling me out on my bullshit, like, I encourage bringing back bullying, because in this situation, like, yes, like, you should be called out on your bullshit. Take ownership of your mistakes. Be like, yeah, like, that was my bad. That was me. I did that. And okay, like, now I know not to do that again and grow from that. You know what I mean? And if it helps, say back to them what they said to you. For example, I know this is a technique that like lawyers do because sometimes like the claims that they want to put out there in a lawsuit are so ridiculous. Like, for example, say someone wants to sue their stepdaughter because they're providing for their ex-wife and the guy didn't get alimony and like blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Imagine saying like back to the client, like, so you want to sue your stepdaughter because she is providing for your ex-wife who you are now separated from. Is that correct? Of course that sounds freaking ridiculous. Like, what do you mean? Like, you have no ground, sir. Like, what? And this is actually something that I heard on the Two Hot Takes podcast, because oh my god, like, that is just ridiculous. Like, and that's kind of what I did this morning. I kind of repeated back what they said, but I like repeated it back in a way that was more gentle and was more constructive, instead of just like putting someone down. Because I think putting people down, unless it's absolutely warranted, if you're just putting people down for one silly little mishap, or not even a mistake, it was just like not communicated, something that wasn't communicated effectively, that's not on that person. Like yes, okay, maybe, but like at the same time, like, what were they, like, how are they supposed to know? You know what I mean? I don't know, silly stuff. But that would be my one first like tip. Like, that's what I do. At least I try to communicate with the person. If they're able to be communicated with, because I know there's some people that just will not take it lightly and do not like being called out at all. My second tip, which is basically what I was doing at the beginning of all this and what I usually go through. My mom used to say this all the time. She'd say, like, no le sigas el rollo. So basically, don't follow their lead. Like, if they're being bitchy or moody or whatever, don't follow along. Like, don't like encourage it. Don't be like, yeah, dude, like this shift sucks. That whatever sucks. Like, don't follow along, because then that encourages that behavior. Like, that negativity, it's just going to encourage it. And people love, like, misery loves company, okay? Like, that has never been more of a truer statement than this moment for me, because people that are just so negative about the world will continue being negative and will try to relate to other people by using that negativity and bringing just like the whole mood down. Like, I know we've all like worked with someone that's just a Debbie Downer and just wants to be out of there as soon as they get there. And there's one thing to like, it's one thing to be actually tired and you had a long day and, you know, you're just ready to go home. But to go above and beyond and say how much this sucks and I hate this and blah, blah, blah. Like, so much negativity. Like, bro, like, I feel like you're just encouraging it. You're bringing it. You're manifesting it more into your life. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want that. I don't want that life. I don't want that negativity. I don't need it. Like, there's enough going on externally in our world where I feel like my space, the space that I've created, I want it to be as carefree, as positive, as light as I can. Yes, I'm going to encounter heavy stuff here and there, and I'll deal with it when I want to deal with it. But, you know, in our everyday spaces, I feel like the peers around you, the friends, the family around you, it shouldn't be like the main stressor. Like, they shouldn't. Like, stress, if anything, should come from the outside, from external situations that just suck. And I know not everyone has I hate to use the word for privilege, just like here and there, but the privilege to have a safe environment around them. But fortunately, I live with a great roommate. I have great friends. And when it's warranted and when I can, like, yeah, like, I will call out the stuff. But there are some battles that don't need to be fought, and that's one of them. So don't encourage that behavior by agreeing with them or going along with their negativity. It's just not going to end well for any of us. Okay, my third tip for dealing with difficult people, it's actually coming back, closing the circle of what I said in the beginning of this. I have this coping mechanism where I will just laugh off a very serious situation, but it helps me. And I have noticed that if I even find myself getting too serious, I will just ha 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 ha. Isn't that so funny? Like, isn't that so like unserious? Because this is, in the grand scheme of things, like, this is so not serious. Like, you gotta like calm down over there. Like, it's not serious. It's not serious at all. And oh my god, I'm sounding a little manic, but no, but it's true. Like, there are some situations that you're just like, is this actually an issue that we're having right now? Because it feels so like unreal. Like, it doesn't seem necessary to be so serious. It's early in the morning. It's 10 a.m., bro. Like, I just woke up. Let me have my coffee first before I get into it, you know? And yeah, like, again, I feel like that is my favorite kind of coping mechanism, actually. Just laughing it off and realizing, like, dude, there are people dying. Like, actually, like, more serious note, like, yeah, there are people dying. This little situation, this little spute, this little whatever meltdown you're having, whatever, angry at the world, I don't care. Like, it's not serious. And I will say that till the day that I die. It's not that serious. It's not, unless you are physically hurt, unless this is a medical emergency. It's not that serious, okay? Unless you're actually dying, it's not that serious. Like, bro, come on, like, learn to laugh it off. And like, I feel like there are people that will not be able to relate to this because, again, they take it a little too, stick up their ass. And I feel for them. I feel so bad for people that can't see that not every situation is life or death. And I don't know what's going on with their stress hormones or whatever. Cortisol levels are through the roof, okay? But at the end of the day, not that serious. And I look back up at so many situations that in the past that I thought were like, oh my God, this is going to ruin my life. Oh my God, I'm never going to find the love of my life again. Or like, oh my God, I'm never going to find a place to live. Oh my God, I'm never going to get into that school. Everything got resolved. One way or another, it got resolved. And guess what? It wasn't that serious. Oh my God. Oh. But yeah, that felt like good to let out, honestly. I came back into my apartment dealing with two different situations. One, the other situation that I'm talking about is my apartment complex that they're charging me for like old stuff. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, no, I wasn't living there during that time. Like, what do you mean I'm getting charged because you guys messed up on like my lease? Like, no, like I'm not doing that. And the girl, as soon as I walked into the office, she was like very defensive, like straight off the bat. And I'm like, girl, like, and I literally told her, I'm like, I'm not trying to cause anything. I'm just trying to get this figured out because it's not on my like bad. It's on your guys' bad. And I know maybe you didn't do it directly, but like it's not on me. Like, it's literally not on me. And like, this is a professional establishment. It should be handled more professionally. And I think, I just caught her off guard, and I'm going back there at 12 for an appointment. I don't know. She wanted to make an appointment to like, so that she kind of knew what she was dealing with on the background. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But again, so serious situations for an unserious girly like me. Oh my goodness. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I know my time and place to lock in and get serious and get a little more like, okay, let's deal with the situation. But even with that, I have grace, and I have, I'm flexible enough to know that even on the times where I lock in, it's also still not that serious. It's not that serious. I'm going to get that tattooed on my forehead, actually. It's not that serious, okay? Like, I need to emphasize that for all of you because, again, like my sisters too, like, I have this one sister who's like very like anxious about things and like socially can have a lot of anxiety. And I wish we could like switch for like a second so she could see my point of view of like, dude, it's not that serious. And like, I promise you it's going to be okay, because up to this point in your life, you're 21 years old, you have been okay. And it was never that serious, was it? Because you're here, you're alive, you're healthy, you're good. All right, I think I'm going to end my little spiel there. I gave a lot today, and I'm glad that I waited until now to speak, because I feel like before this, I didn't even have anything to like talk about. I had some ideas, but I wasn't like feeling them really. And this, I was feeling this one. Let me tell you that. All right, I'll let you guys go now. Get back to whatever you're doing. Do your homework, do your chores, like get back to work, bro. I don't know. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.